Everyone says how horrible it will be to renovate or build your house. We're here to say it doesn't have to be that way. Join 3 seasoned architects as they interview homeowners who recently completed a large project and ask them one simple question. What do you know now that you wish you knew before you started? Welcome to Home, the Second Story podcast.
Hi, and welcome to a snack-size episode of Home, the Second Story. I'm Marilyn Modinger, and I am from Runcible Studios, located in Boston, Massachusetts, and Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And today I'm joined by
Sheri Scott with Springhouse Architects in Cincinnati, Ohio.
And I'm Taylor Davis from TBD Architect in Birmingham, Alabama.
And today we're going to do a little something different. We're going to talk about some stuff that's kind of happening right now in our practices. We do a lot of different things, whether it's design, we're on site, that kind of thing. And, these are a lot of the conversations that we have amongst ourselves, and we share the insights with each other and sort of the stories and whatever. And we thought, why not just have this conversation sort of live with you guys and kind of talk about some of the stuff that's happening and what we're doing and whatever. So Sheri, I think you should go first. Sounded like you had a fun construction story for us.
Oh, yes. They're always fun in
They
construction.
are always fun.
So just a little bit of background. This is a high-end custom home, about 6,000 square feet finished in Columbus, Ohio. Beautiful home. The one thing that's different for this home, a couple of things. With design, it's very modern. So for the first time, we designed integral gutters so that we don't have gutters and downspouts coming through.
We've done those.
Everybody loves the idea,
Yep.
right? Execution is difficult. Execution is difficult for us because we had to learn how to do it well. And it's difficult because our builder has not done it before. So we have a great team on this project, and the builder is very collaborative. The framing crew out there is very collaborative. So it's the best setup that you could hope for something that's custom and new and working through things. So with the integral gutter, the roofing guy, he came in and said, I don't think your gutter is big enough. And I don't know if you guys have run into this lately, but lately everyone is saying gutters are not designed big enough because our weather patterns are changing. Here in the Midwest, we are getting big rainstorms, not more inches per year, but faster. It's falling faster.
Yeah, like these downpours. Yeah,
Right. Exactly.
We're having that too. Yeah. Actually, that's a great thing to bring up, just generally.
So we have this conversation about gutter size all the time. So he wanted to make these gutters bigger. Well, what that did in the detail was, without getting too technical, it lowered part of the blocking. And so the fascia, which is the trim board, didn't have enough mass to stand up straight.
It was flopping.
Okay. Yes. So
flopping fascia.
So on site, during our typical construction CA site visit, the builder was like, hey, Sheri, what do you think of this? Like acting like it's all casual, And I'm like, oh, yeah, I think that's probably going to be a question. And so builder, me, framer, we stood out there with a pencil on a 2x4 and tried redrawing this detail and figuring out what the best way would be. And we came up with the best way. And then at the last minute, I'm like, wait a minute. We just added a whole bunch of weight to the end of this already large overhang. And the longer the overhang, it's kind of like a lever, the more force it's going to put on. So then not only did we all have to put our brains together to figure it out, then we had to send it to the structural engineer and get a reading back from him. He kicked it to the truss designer because we're extending truss tails. That's where we are right now. Like this all happened at the site meeting last week. That's where we are right now. Everyone is still trying to figure it out and find the best way and make sure that it's structurally sound. And honestly, on this project, the client doesn't even know this is going on. Not that we're hiding anything. It will be in our field report. But it's just something that we wouldn't bring the client into because it's not going to change the look of it. We're just trying to figure out the very best detail for it.
One thing I think is really important about that story is how one seemingly tiny thing that is coming from a place like the roofing guy is like bringing up something that's really important and that should be considered. But that one thing has this domino effect throughout a whole series of details.
Yes.
And then suddenly the whole team is involved, as they should be.
Yep.
It highlights the complexity of homes. Like residential construction is so customized in general, but like there are very few like custom details that we repeat on a regular basis because every house is different, every condition is different, every builder is different and likes to do things different ways. So it speaks to the fact that like, there is this idea that you can buy a set of house plans, throw it over to the builder and call it, have it done. Well, you can, but it won't be tailored for you or your site or anything else. And if something like that comes up in the field, you need to have like a good set of eyes and hands and ears and brains around how to address that particular problem, because without that team involved in construction, who knows how that could have gotten solved. And you could have ended up with fascia that was wavering or gutters that were undersized or whatever that is.
Or we wouldn't never have known, right? So we do have clients that waive the CA part, which there are some architects that absolutely will not waive that. We have taken the stand that we sometimes will, depends on the project. We take it on a case-by-case basis. But this is a good example where I can actually help. The architect can actually help on site to come up with the best solution. And it helps the builder too. The best builders are so happy to have me there on CA because we work as a team.
That's right. And just to make sure everyone knows, CA is construction. It's actually, they're now calling it CCA, construction contract administration. And that's the construction phase. Mm-hmm. And I think that people forget or don't even know that architects are actually doing some of our most important work during that phase. And that builders want us there. I want to underline that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. Yeah. The good ones.
The good ones.
That's just what I was about to say. You totally took the words out of my mouth.
So this is actually one of my little mini like tricks or hacks here in the industry is if you are a homeowner and you're trying to figure out whether a builder is a good one, ask them how they feel about working with architects. Don't even wait for them to say a word. Even if you're not working with an architect or whatever, don't even wait for them to see a word. Just look at their body language. And for those of you who are on video, you can see like whatever.
They melt.
But like,
yes.
Do they immediately go, oh, like, and roll their eyes and like make a face? Do they look frustrated? Are they just like, yeah, architects are great. Like, get a good one. It works really well. Same as builders. Get a good one. It works well. That's your guy right there, or gal. That's like the quickest tell.
Okay. Enough about my story. What do you have, Marilyn?
Well, I've got a couple things going on right now. We're a little bit slammed at the moment, but I guess one of the big ones is we're cranking away on a completed set of drawings. So hoping to have those done for next week. So this is a full, basically interiors package for a home. So we're not really touching the outside of the house, but we're doing full gut inside, finishing a basement, doing all sorts of stuff. We actually had a meeting this morning, where I don't know when this is going to air, but whatever. It just reminds me, and I've been doing this a long time, just reminds me just how many decisions there are to be made.
Right.
I'm like, we're on a Zoom and I'm just like, oh my gosh, you guys, you're doing so well. You're making gajillions of decisions. And I'm like, do you want to put the towel bar here or here? And they're just like, they're hanging in, they're doing great. But I just know the decision fatigue. I can just see it. It's just so real,
So are you at the end? Like the minute decisions that
tiny little decisions and things like that, you just completely or that they forgot to mention, or all of a sudden are coming up, or little stuff like, well, if this is going to be the office and, you know, someone's going to be working from home a lot, well, we want a wired internet connection. Well, the desk is in the middle of the room. So are we putting in a floor outlet for like to plug stuff in? Well, yes, we can totally do that. But are you going to put a rug in the office? Because the rug's going to cover the floor outlet. So are we cool cutting a hole in the rug? And the next thing you know, this very simple question turns into like this whole, and you can just kind of see it on a client's face where they're like, oh my gosh, like, please make her stop asking me questions. And I know like it's the world between like a production build where you get to make like 3 decisions. It's like buying a car. You can pick out like the interior color, the color of the outside, and like 3 different features. Full custom means full custom. That means I'm asking you, where do you want the towel bar, here or an inch over there?
Yeah.
And obviously we as designers and architects are suggesting a lot of this stuff, and we're not literally asking them every single little tiny question.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Like, do we ask them every single thing, or do
No.
we propose and say,
We
this is what I
propose.
would do?
Yeah.
But they're included,
Yes.
right? We don't
Oh,
just
100%.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that collaboration, I think, is like one of the most fun parts of the work. I think that's probably why the 3 of us do this. I mean,
Right.
there's other types of architecture you can do where that collaboration isn't as intense or personal.
Yeah.
Yes.
But like at this point, we're like talking about like the kids, like we've been talking about the kids for months and months, like who does what, who likes this, like what's happening, who plays what sport, how are we planning to make the house like work for everybody. But yeah, just that's what we're doing now. We're wrapping up the set. We're getting ready this Friday to send them. So what we do is we send like a final check set, like 99% complete. And we ask people to like take real time over the weekend and sit there and just really look over the whole set of drawings. And by that point, they've looked at the drawings many times. They should be really good at looking at the drawings. There shouldn't be surprises. But it's like kind of the last chance, like without me yapping in their ear, take a look.
Do you think they look?
I would say some of my clients do and some do not.
I would say the same. I can usually tell when they don't.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they're just like, oh, when I follow up, they're like, oh, yeah, they looked good.
Yep.
Which,
They were fun.
and that's part of the fatigue, right? It's like, gosh, Sheri, I've looked at these 100 times. They're fine.
Yeah.
But we really do have to give them that last opportunity.
Also, not to be too weird about it, but in writing. Because, like, yes, I've reviewed this set and I'm signing off on this set. And it doesn't mean that later if someone says, oh my gosh, I didn't quite realize that it was going to be like this. Can we, obviously there's still room to change things, but not really. Not like, I didn't understand that the kitchen was going to be pointed this way. Can we flip the whole thing? Like, no. I mean, yes.
Move the towel bars.
Yes, but
it's going to cost
time.
But flipping the kitchen might have some ramifications.
So yeah, I mean, in conclusion, I guess my report is we're deep into that and I love it. It's like the race to the end. We're putting all the finishing touches on. We're exporting sets. We're finding mistakes and little things, getting all that cleared up, coordinating with engineers, making sure everyone's got everything in. So yeah, it's very exciting. I think the set will be, just for interiors, it'll probably be 30 pages.
Yeah, that's intense.
Yeah, 4 pages of schedules.
Oh my gosh.
It's a lot of stuff.
That's what keeps it working, right?
That's
what keeps it all
There's
organized.
5.5 baths, 6 baths, something like that. You gotta,
wow.
you know.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Anyway, Taylor, what's up with you? What's happening over there?
So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 projects currently under construction, which means we make a lot of site visits. Luckily, they're not too far away from each other. So our Wednesdays and Thursdays get kind of stacked with site visits, which is fun. We actually, I think one of the things that when we have an initial conversation with a client, we want to be able to tell them how long it's going to be before we can start their project. So we sort of like give them an estimate and say, okay, we anticipate that we could start this work on or before X. So this week we actually had some flux in that. We had a client who had some unexpected surgery. He's going to be fine, but it caused us to shift some of our schedules. So we've been actually calling clients and saying, "Hey, you thought you're going to have to wait till October. Well, we can get started this week. Can you want us to come and measure?" So a little bit of that, because we're rolling with people's homes and their personal lives, sometimes stuff happens and we can't predict it. And that's sort of why this is one of the reasons I love doing what I do, because we have to be flexible and nimble, and we want to be able to address everybody's concerns. So I'm not putting another project on hold, but I am saying, okay, we're not, you don't need to feel pressure while you're going through this health little bump. You need to know that we're going to hold on to your project and we're going to keep time for it. We're going to make room for it further in the schedule by starting these projects a little bit earlier so that everybody is accommodated. And sometimes that's a little bit of a scheduling challenge, I'd say, but I like being nimble enough to do that. I think that's an important thing. It's kind of a service we can offer to our clients, that yes, sometimes y'all are going to have to wait for a little bit, but if there's an opening, we promise we'll move you up and we'll shift things around to make sure everybody is accommodated. So we've been sort of making good phone calls and telling people we can get started earlier, and you ready for us to come measure, and we'll handle that today. And that's good.
Yeah. Taylor, I would say I think you're great at that. And I think all three of us have plenty of experience with that. That is not the part I love, though. It's hard, right? And it upsets the train of things that you're working on and things that are coming behind it. And I do think it's important to be able to do that because it's personal and all of that. But it's hard. That's a challenge. It's a challenge. And I don't look forward to that when it happens.
Yeah, from our side, it's hard. From a staffing and planning standpoint.
Right. But I think, if we can serve people through whatever, issues they have or they might have, whether it's, they're unexpectedly having to host a graduation party and we need to postpone construction for another 3 weeks.
Right.
To take care of that. We do stuff that's very specialized and it's very personal. And one of the things I do appreciate, and I hope that our clients appreciate, is that we do take that time to be of service to them. All of us do, that we really want to pay attention to what their needs are and where they're coming from. And at a certain point, we have to draw lines. I'm not saying we can sort of be open books and shift things around constantly, but there are going to be hiccups in every project. And sometimes they're going to come from us. Sometimes it's going to be something that we've got going on.
We have families and lives.
Yeah.
Too.
It's going to come from us. I had, we were talking about before, we had some Nigerian hackers get into our email system, and
true story.
It caused a little turmoil and a little bit of scheduling delays and some stuff. So it's gonna, we want to be generous and give grace where we can and sort of figure out how we can make things work for people.
Yeah, I think that's important. And I think also another factor is that when you've got a lot of projects under construction, that also factors in. I mean, we've got only 2 right now, which is a little bit unusual. We were supposed to have between 5 and 6 under construction this summer. And then 4 of them got delayed for various reasons. And some of them were things like you're talking about. Some of them were other things. That's just how it goes. And so we were scrambling to figure out how to get that organized. But, it's part of the territory, and it's part of what you're getting when you're hiring someone who's on the smaller side, because we can be quick and nimble and move things around. But it's also a lot as a practitioner. And so I don't know, I'm going to gush about my clients right now for a second and just say that I'm just really grateful to have amazing clients who understand that, who see how hard we're working, who see that we can't predict everything and that we can't control everything, whether it's construction or the weather, back to the gutters, or just life happens and we're all just trying to give our best. And, and back to my clients feeling decision fatigue. That's what I'm saying to them too, as I'm helping them manage that. I'm you're giving your best. This is great. You guys are doing great. It's all going to happen. It's all going to be fine. I've never had a project, knock on wood, but in 20 plus years, like they've all gotten done one way or the other. Like there is an end in sight. So, I think keeping that kind of attitude is really helpful along the way.
We love our clients. All of us do. If y'all are all listening, we love you all. Except when you text at 6 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday.
Well, don't do that. Yeah.
Just don't do that. That's the only
don't
time.
Text us at 6 in the morning.
Don't text us at 6 o'clock. But other than that, we love y'all.
Yep. It's true. Thank you for joining us today on Home the Second Story for a quick snack. Questions for us or topics you'd like us to cover or interested in being a guest, just reach out to us at admin@htsspodcast.com. See you next time.
Thanks for listening to Home, the Second Story podcast. Feel free to share this episode with a friend. Contact information for all three of our architects are in our show notes. And don't miss future episodes. Follow or subscribe to our show for free in Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you're listening right now.